It's Ash from Super Videos, back for another video for Season 8 of The Walking Dead. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at a recent interview Robert Kirkman did about Season 8. So the news about the interview comes from comicbook.com. I'll leave a link in the description below. So Robert Kirkman says that Glenn will haunt Daryl in Season 8, which is something that's very interesting. So there's a couple things that I want to say here. The first is that if you remember, a couple months ago, there was a news or an interview done where it was basically revealed that Glenn will, in some way, shape, or form, come back and be in Season 8. Now, at that time, we thought that it would be some sort of dream sequence involving Maggie or something along those lines. But it seems like what Robert Kirkman has said recently and that news that came out a couple months ago go hand in hand. And Glenn will in fact come into Season 8 in the form of like a dream sequence or a hallucination, and it's going to involve Daryl. And Daryl's actions will haunt him. Glenn is going to come back and haunt Daryl. As glad as I am that they're not brushing over the fact that Daryl was responsible for Glenn's death, I hope that they don't just bring Glenn back in this fashion just to bring him back. And they actually make that scene, whatever it looks like, with Glenn returning, be powerful and meaningful. So I hope it does something to move Daryl's development forward, but at the same time, I hope that it's meaningful and it's not just done just to be done. And just to add to that, I hope it involves Maggie in some way. So for whatever reason Daryl is hallucinating or dreaming about Glenn, I hope that Maggie's also there, or it has something to do with Maggie as well. I hope that they don't just have it be centered around Daryl and Glenn. I hope they add Maggie in the mix as well. And one more thing I want to discuss, this actually makes it a little more likely that this season coming up, Season 8, will be the season that Daryl dies. Because the only reason I can think of why Daryl would hallucinate something like that is if he's either dying or there's a very good chance that he may die. So if Daryl is not going to die, at least I think this indicates that he will come very close to death. And, it's going to be very interesting to see how that actually plays out. But like I said, I hope, however way they do this, it involves Maggie as well, because Glenn without Maggie in this context doesn't really make sense to me. But I want to know everybody's opinions about this. What do you think about this news, and how do you think it's going to come into play in Season 8? That's it for this video. See you next time for another super video.